Don't forget to check out and grab your copy of our 2 newly released books, Football: A Love Story and What Did Football Teach Me? These books feature over 100 stories from current and former coaches, players, executives, and entertainers from across the football landscape, describing what got them involved in the game, what they love about it, and what life lessons the game taught them. You can find your copy or order your copy from our website at footballgameplan.com/books. Welcome to another edition of 4 Downs with the Czar. I'm Emery Hunt, the Czar of the playbook here at FedEx Field, where the Washington Redskins played host to the Dallas Cowboys and ended up losing in a tight, close, exciting ball game, 19-16. Now let's take a look at some of my Cowboy takeaways in this ball game, starting with the road team. In the first half, I thought the offensive line really got punched in the mouth by this Redskins defensive front. They really couldn't get any traction with the running game. The passing game couldn't get going. They had a lot of issues in the first half dealing with the Redskins defensive line. And like I said, the passing game just looked out of sync. In the second quarter, the running game started to gain traction. They were able to move the football. Once they got inside the red zone, Matt Castle missed a wide open Dez Bryant, which could have been a touchdown, which probably could have broken this game open, but they settled for a field goal, which was a theme throughout the course of this half for both teams. But again, offense was out of sync in the first half. Looking at the first half defensive effort for the Cowboys, this was the fastest I've seen Dallas's defense play in a very long time. At every level, they brought speed, they brought aggressiveness, they were flying to the football. Now in the second quarter, the Redskins made an adjustment. They went to more of a spread offense to where they neutralized that speed and forced Dallas to play more with their minds instead of their athleticism, and that gave them problems in the second quarter. That speed was neutralized by the spread offense of the Washington Redskins, but overall, especially in the first half, their defensive speed was evident in this ball game. Moving over to the Redskins in the first half, I thought anything they ran downhill was a problem. They couldn't get any push up front from that offensive line. Now, when they went to their East-West game, whether it was a passing game or the outside run, they had some success. They had moderate success, and they were able to move the football at times against this Cowboys defense in the first quarter. Now, moving on to the second quarter, you look at the fact that the protection got solid, the passing game started to click, and Cousins got into a rhythm. Those things happened. They started to come to life. They owned the time of possession, and they were able to get some points up on the board going into halftime. Looking at the first half defensive effort for the Washington Redskins, I thought they physically beat the Cowboys up at the point of attack. They were getting off the football. They were owning their gaps. The Cowboys really couldn't get any movement up front along that defensive line. And also in the secondary, I thought Bashaud Breeland played a great game versus Dez Bryant, really shutting him out in the first half. That was an excellent display by the young cornerback. And they continued that dominance in the second quarter as well. Again, their defensive line gave the Cowboys fits all throughout this entire first half. Moving over to the second half offensive approach for the Dallas Cowboys, they came out firing. They went on a long, sustained drive in that third quarter, 11 plays, which led them to points. Also, Jason Witten got involved, caught his 1,000th reception in the first half, but he was getting more involved in the passing game. They started to go deep down the field of Dez Bryant, and it paid off with a big touchdown that looked like he was going to win the football game with that reception. But that was a great job of this offense adjusting at halftime and coming out in the third quarter and fourth quarter with the new found approach to moving the football. And they also started to get stuff going on the ground with Darren McFadden, who came back in the game after suffering an injury in the first half. Looking at the second half defense for the Cowboys, they were bending a little bit more, but they weren't breaking. They didn't give up that big crucial touchdown until late in the fourth quarter, which looked to be the game winner. But that defense did a good job in bending but not breaking. They were forcing 3-and-outs. They were forcing punts. They were forcing Redskins field goals. And also, when you look at the pressure, it was forcing errant passes by Kirk Cousins. They did enough defensively in the second half to secure the victory. Looking at the Redskins' offensive approach in the second half, I thought they really got it going. They were moving Kirk Cousins a lot on boots, on waggles, play action passes. They were doing the east-west thing again, and it built on what they did in the second quarter. They carried that over to the third quarter in the second half. So the offense, I thought, moved the football well in the second half, led by Kirk Cousins and getting him outside on the perimeter. Matt Jones also seemed to get rolling running the football. I think the Cowboys really had an issue with his speed and quickness and subtle elusiveness elusiveness in and out of the hole, catching the football on passes and also running the football downhill. So Matt Jones, I thought, played a great game in the second half versus this Cowboys defense. And they also started to go deep down the field, which again looked to be the game winner to Deshaun Jackson. He just had Morris Claiborne's number on a couple of routes. They finally went to him. He converted, big catch, big time touchdown, which again many thought was the game winner. Looking at the second half defense for the Redskins, they remained aggressive. They forced 2 turnovers, 1 fumble in the third quarter, another fumble in the fourth quarter. That's all you can ask for from your defense, getting out there, staying aggressive, forcing turnovers, and the Redskins did just that. They had special teams breakdowns in the fourth quarter, which I thought played a huge role in the outcome of this game. Deshaun Jackson fumbled on a kickoff, which led to points for the Dallas Cowboys, led to a touchdown, and also they gave up a big return later in the fourth quarter, which led to the game-winning field goal. So special teams breakdown ultimately did the Redskins in this ball game. Player of the game for the Dallas Cowboys, I might have to give it defensively to defensive coordinator Rob Marinelli, because he had this defense rocking and rolling from the start of the game to the ending part of the game. This defense was aggressive. They flew around the football field, and they were a big reason why the Cowboys were able to keep the Redskins out of the end zone until late in the fourth quarter. Offensive player of the game, you have to look at Dan Bailey, the kicker. Again, 4 field goals. The Cowboys win 19-16. 4 field goals. That's 12 points by Dan Bailey, including the game winner, which was a 54-yarder. He definitely earns player of the game from me. Player of the game for the Washington Redskins offensively, I think Kirk Cousins played a really good game. He was efficient. He protected the football. He took what the defense gave him. And again, they had success in the second half, moving the football down the field in the passing game. Now, defensively, I thought Chris Baker probably was the best out of the defensive front 7. Dallas Cowboys really couldn't find an answer for him. He constantly was in the backfield. He lived in the backfield. He made key stops on third downs. Chris Baker played a hell of a game tonight for Washington. Now, finally, where do we go from here for these two teams? I think Dallas has to continue to find ways to get Matt Castle in a groove, throwing the football early. I think ultimately this team will win or lose with their running game and their defense. If they can find a way to get Castle in a groove passing the football, they can have some success. Again, their defense is ready. Their run game looks to be ready, but they have to get that balance going with the passing game and have to find ways to get Dez the football, even if it's forcing him the football early in the matchup. Get him involved early, and that way they can have some success. And for the Redskins, I don't think this is a bad football team. I honestly think this is the NFC East favorite to win a division. I still think this team can get into the playoffs. They just have to learn to finish games and close out games. When you have a team down, you can't allow them back into a game by beating yourself, turnovers, mistakes, mental mistakes. You just have to learn how to finish a ball game. And if they do that, they definitely can find themselves into the playoffs. I still think they'll get there, but it's about finishing and closing out football games. And if they're able to do that, this team will definitely be playing bonus football once the regular season ends. So that's a wrap from FedEx Field as the Washington Redskins lose to the Dallas Cowboys 19-16. And for more 4 Down with the Czar segments, visit our website at footballgameplan.com/4downs with the Czar.